Hi, Towslee families. I want to first start by saying that I am very excited to see so many of our students next week for our soft opening. So I put together this newsletter that's just about the Towslee soft opening policies and procedures. And I just want to take a couple of minutes and go through some items on here. We are very excited to see your kids and welcome them back. It's obviously not the same here without them. And again, just thank you for your continued patience, the flexibility, and all of your support through this remote learning and as we transition to in-person. Our Towslee families have been amazing, and I appreciate so much all that you guys have done to support us and to support your students. So thank you so much. I want to make sure I highlight that tonight you're going to get a lot of information, a lot of questions answered from district policies and procedures. So that's going to be at the district town hall, which is at 7 o'clock tonight. So please be sure to tune in for that information. And I will go through some things in our document here for Towslee. And then if you have any questions after reviewing this and then hearing the information at the town hall, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Give the office a call tomorrow. So here's the document I'm going to come back to with everything kind of spelled out. I did want to just point out that here is a little video that you can play, and this is designed for students just to kind of show the arrival procedures. Mostly it also has the restroom pass. I want you to know that we are going to spend the first few days spending some time teaching these new procedures and expectations. So this is just a preview. The teachers are going to take the students to the locations in the school to show them, to explain, to let them practice so that everybody feels very comfortable with the new procedures that we have in place to keep everyone safe. So just wanted to show you just a couple pictures. We will have students eating in the cafeteria and the gym with 6 feet distance between students. And so this is just a picture of the cafeteria. We're utilizing desks in here, and then there are small tables and a combination of desks in the gym. Your teacher will communicate if your student is having it in the gym or the cafeteria, but either place there's 6 feet distance. So that's just a picture of what that looks like. We have floor signs. These please stand here throughout the building to help students keep distance as they are waiting for places like in the lunch line or waiting to use the restroom. We have hand washing signs at each sink throughout the building, both in the classroom and in the restrooms. This is explained in the video above for the students. It kind of goes through a new way that we're going to utilize bathroom passes so that we only have 4 students at a time in the restroom. And we have floor signs. All of our hallways, due to the design of our building, are two-way, but we're utilizing just the right side of the hallway, single file. So this will just indicate and remind students to stay on the right side. I did include our kindergarten teachers made some quick videos just for them for arrival and with the car riders and bus riders. That's just to help the kindergartners out because this is new, totally new for them. And the dates below that I've shared in the previous newsletter and the information about the transportation updates. So I'm going to go back up here to the documents and open this up. And there's a lot of information here, so I'm certainly not going to read through everything on here. Here are, as you know, all elementaries have changed the start and end times slightly this year. So our arrival, students will be allowed in the building at 8:45 and the tardy bell rings at 8:55. Students that are breakfast eaters, we will allow those students in a bit earlier. We'll be out there to get them off of the buses just to help with the amount of students in the cafeteria for breakfast, and dismissal will be at 3:25. So I do want to spend a couple of minutes talking about the car riders specifically. So arrival will be trying to keep things as consistent as we could, so our families aren't having to learn a whole new procedure. So car riders, it's going to feel very similar. You will arrive in the same back parking lot. Down here is the link to our handbook that explains that if you're a new family or need a refresher about how that works, all those details are here. The only difference will be we will be having students use 2 doors, and this is explained in the video for the students. First, 4th, and 5th graders will utilize the door that they normally would for car riders in the back hallway, which is by the 4th and 5th grade wing. And then 2nd graders, 3rd graders, and kindergarten students are going to use the door that goes right into their hallway. And again, obviously this is minimizing where students are in the building to help keep us safe. So we will have staff out there. There will be people directing them and helping them with that. So that should feel pretty similar to last year for our families. Car riders at dismissal, again, will probably feel similar for you. We have colored signs that we are going to provide on day 1 that we will give to all students, so that if any time your student is going to be a car rider, you will utilize this sign. They're going to be color coded by grade level, and then color coded for if there's siblings. That will just help us. What we're doing inside is pretty different, and we usually had the kids go to the library, and so we're going to do things a little bit differently, but we have a pretty good system, we think, to keep kids safe and minimize exposure there. So we're going to ask that you make sure that you have your sign in your window so that we can easily see. We're also going to ask for your patience with dismissal. I think things might move a little bit slower at first due to the way we're handling this. So we're going to ask for your patience. Inside, all the students will be in their classroom, and we have a system where they're going to be called down to and go right to the doors and come out. So we'll still use the colored signs to tell you when it's time to go and when you need to stay in the car. So obviously we need to follow that so we're safe. That's the same as last year. We might have subs, and we have a couple of new staff members, so we want to make sure that we're utilizing the signs with the student's name, so it will help keep things moving as quickly as possible. So parents can arrive early. They can get there, between 3:30. Students will be dismissed at 3:25 to their cars. And again, you can refer to the handbook to find out the details if this is new to you. We're asking that if you can, on the first day of school, just have a sheet of paper with your student's first and last name and put that in the window when you arrive in your windshield so that we can clearly see. That will help speed it up. And then on the first day, like all students will be bringing home their colored sign, and we just ask that you keep that somewhere safe so that you can utilize that every time. Arrival for buses, it will still be in the front of the building. We're going to be allowing 1 bus to dismiss at a time to help with the traffic flow. At dismissal, instead of the way we've done it in the past, we're going to do 2 bus numbers called at a time, again, minimizing the amount of traffic in the hallways. Some other things to read through here, please make sure you go through all this. We're not going to have visitors in the building at any point. Talks about things that drop off. We don't want items being dropped off unless it's for a medical reason. I do want to spend a minute talking about the masks. Masks are required. I did mention in my last newsletter to consider purchasing a lanyard or making a lanyard. I don't have directions yet for you. If I'm able to get that, I will send that out this weekend for those of you that are interested in making the lanyards that I showed with my kindergarten son. It's really just a pipe cleaner with beads and then 2 little hooks that you can get from a craft store. But you can also purchase those lanyards already made. And again, that's not a requirement. It's just something that I've found to be very helpful and minimize mask falling on the floor and someone else having my son's mask and all of those other things that can happen. So just a suggestion for those of you that would like to utilize that. I already went over the dots on the floor showing where to stand to help keep social distancing. We will be sanitizing and washing hands frequently throughout the day. With masks, we will have mask breaks built into the schedule, and teachers will go over all of that with the students and how we're going to do that. Drinking fountains, those will not be available, but the touch-free water bottle fillers will be. So you are encouraged to send in a water bottle, and then teachers will go over specific procedures of how they're going to utilize that. But that is recommended to bring in a water bottle since they cannot use the drinking fountains. I already kind of talked to you, it's in the video, about the restrooms and how that will be done. Supplies and lockers, we are going to utilize those for 4th and 5th grade. We have them spaced out, and there's going to be a schedule. They're going to use those minimally at the beginning and end of the day. And the K through 3 classrooms, it just depends on that particular classroom setup. So your teachers will communicate that and what that looks like. We're going to minimize sharing any supplies. A lot of teachers are already working on using the remote learning kit items or creating other items to individually give to students as they need manipulatives and different things in the classroom. I did talk with Bill already about lunch, but that will be in the cafeteria or the gym, and there will be 6 feet between each student because the masks will be down, obviously, while they're eating. So we were able to make sure that we have 6 feet. At recess, we're going to divide our play areas into 3 sections, and students will stay with their classmates for recess. So we will have the playground, and then the blacktop behind the playground will be another area, and then the blacktop over where the Gaga pit is will be the 3rd area. Students will mostly have their masks on, especially on the playground, have their masks on during recess. If they're doing sidewalk chalk by themselves and they're 6 feet away from people, they will be able to take their mask down. At any point they need a mask break, we'll have cones over in the grassy area. They can go stand at a cone, take off their mask. So definitely have opportunities for that. But when they're playing, because we know they're going to be closer to each other, we will have their masks on during that time. You can read through some things. One thing I want to point out is this schedule for specials. Make sure you click on that and see we are not switching specials classes every single day to minimize the exposure. We are going to have a schedule that's more like, I think it's about 2 weeks approximately, where they'll be in music class for 2 weeks, and then in another 2 weeks they'll be in the PE class, and that is all explained. A note about specials, I know we've had some staff changes with that, and just want to give you an update on that. So Mrs. Cooper will be back in the building part-time, so she will be here. On the other days, Mrs. Faria, who you are familiar with, who was subbing for PE, she will be subbing on the other days for art now. And then we have a new sub for PE, and his name is Mr. Dye, and I will make sure that he sends something out to introduce himself so that you get familiar with him. So just an update on that. And music is the same with Mrs. Piper. So they'll please be sure to check out that schedule and some of these information about the specials here. All of this information about the symptoms and how we're doing the clinic and all of that, that's going to be covered tonight. That's district-wide, so those things will be covered tonight in the town hall. If you have any other questions after the town hall and you've read through this document, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help you out, support you in any way I can, and clarify things. Again, thank you guys for your patience, your flexibility. We really appreciate it. It takes all of us working together to make this work, and we are beyond excited to get to welcome our kids back next week. So thank you very much. See you soon.